Thank you so much for watching Landum C Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Little House on the Prairie was an American Western historical drama television series about the Ingalls family, who lived on a farm on Plum Creek near Walnut Grove, Minnesota, in the 1870s through the 90s. The series stars Michael Landon, Melissa Gilbert, Karen Grassley, Melissa Sue Anderson, and twins Lindsay and Sidney Greenbush. It was an adaptation of Laura Ingalls Wilder's best-selling series of Little House books. In 1972, from the encouragement of his wife and daughter, television producer and former NBC executive Ed Friendly acquired the television and film rights to the Wilder novels. He went on to commission a teleplay to be done for a 2-hour motion picture pilot. He contacted Michael Landon to direct the pilot. Landon agreed to do this on one condition. That was that he was allowed to play Charles Ingalls. That pilot episode aired on March 30th, 1974. This series does better at conjuring up misty memories of wholesomeness that you felt when you watched it, better than any other show from that time frame. While the series was certainly oozing love and lessons, this TV adaptation of her semi-autobiographical books also delivered modern drama and delivered some pretty dark subjects like drug addiction, alcoholism, abuse, cancer, and cruelty. The Ingalls family went on to strike a chord with audiences of all ages. Michael Landon ended up directing most of the episodes. This Bonanza veteran had been at the helm of quite a few Bonanza episodes, so he was pretty accomplished at doing this. Michael Landon wasn't the only thing borrowed from the hit Western Bonanza. The ending theme music to the show, which was another work by theme song composer David Rose, was originally heard as a piece of incidental music in a later season Bonanza. They also dusted off some of the old Bonanza scripts and put them into Little House. They just rewrote them slightly to include these characters, and they fit perfectly. Allison Arngrim auditioned to play both Laura and Mary. There are few characters from the series, or for that matter from any 1970 TV show in general, that connected with fans quite like the chatty Nellie Oleson did. With her blonde ringlets, Allison Arngrim perfectly portrayed the young woman you love to hate. But initially, she was almost one of the Ingalls. That somehow just doesn't seem right now that we know the way she played this character. She originally tried out for both of the roles that were eventually filled by the two Melissas on this show. Now, there's one part of the production where Arngrim's face seems terrified, and that was real. In the episode called Bunny, Nellie was thrown from a horse and confined to a wheelchair. Well, at least that's what everybody thought. In an unforgettable scene, Laura, who discovered Nellie was faking her injury, shoved her down a slope on her chair. To film the close-up shots of her screams, the crew rigged up a chair with safety ropes. Just as the camera rolled, someone yelled out, "Oh no, the rope broke!" That really didn't happen, but it scared her enough to get the reaction that they wanted to on camera. So the resulting screams that you see is of her thinking that she's going to crash land at the bottom of this hill. Perhaps a lot of girls, when they were young, envied her hair on the show. They loved her curls. She had the perfect 1870s hair. But as it turns out, this was all a wig. And not only that, it was a problematic wig. It was so tight on her scalp that it continually irritated her head and caused her scalp to bleed. The show was filmed in Simi Valley, California. not the rural area of Minnesota that you think. On many of the shooting days, the thermometer nearly popped as it hit record highs during that time frame, up around 110 degrees. And the cast members would be bundled up in 5 layers of petticoats to appear like they were dealing with a Minnesota winter. Now, there were chaperones that were in charge of this memorable kiss scene in the series. Melissa Gilbert was 8 years younger than her on-screen love, played by Dean Butler. Laura Ingalls' first kiss was also the first kiss for this actress. The scene got rather uncomfortable when the camera rolled. Chaperones were mandated to be on the set to keep things clean and innocent. And in the meantime, Gilbert's mom, Barbara, was standing on set, reacting loudly to seeing her daughter being kissed for the first time. It was so bad that it interrupted the filming for that scene. One episode of the series slid into the horror genre, trying to capture some of the craze that was happening in the early 1980s for this type of films. The episode, called Sylvia, went down as one of the most bizarre and misguided episodes of the series. An assaulter in a harlequin mask preyed on a local girl with an angry old father. The whole thing was shot like a Halloween sequel, and it really is probably one of the creepiest ones of the entire series. Now, as you watch the series, you become convinced that Charles and his wife are the perfect couple. But on set, that wasn't exactly the way it was. It initially started out that way in the first year of Karen Grassley's contract, because at that time, she wasn't making much money at all. Once the series became a hit, her agent went in to renegotiate her contract, or just at least to extend it. They were met with a really bullheaded Michael Landon. And to this day, Karen Grassley has no clue why he didn't want to pay her a decent amount to be on the show. For the next 18 months, he made her life miserable, downgrading her, cutting her from scenes, and just basically harassing her to death. Eventually, they got a contract signed, and going into the 3rd season, you would have thought things would have gotten better, but it was still a roller coaster ride for Karen. She states that it brought back memories of when she was growing up with an alcoholic father. Michael Landon would be nice to her at one point and then just vindictive and mean at another. In the interviews that you see now about this subject, she still seems so perplexed as to why he treated her the way he did. Take a look back at this classic series. It'll bring back a lot of memories from the 70s. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.